भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। हरि ओम तत्सत्। Last week we started studying the 15th chapter, and the opening verse gave us a picture of the universe compared to a Ashwatha tree, a strange type of tree with roots above and branches below. In that world, the invisible is the Supreme Brahman. Out of that has come the flowering out of the universe. It is like a flowing out with trunk, branches, twigs, leaves, flowers, fruits, all that has come. That is this manifested universe. We find imagery obtaining in the Upanishads, Mahabharata, and here in the Gita. Urdhvamulam athashyakam ashwatham prahur avyayam. It's an ashwatha, nyagrodha, growing downwards with roots falling here, there, everywhere. That kind of a tree. In my last Sunday lecture, I referred to the sacredness of trees due to the association with some divine being of the other, and also association with Buddha, under which Buddha got illumination, Ashwatha tree. And we have a very ancient tree in Prayag, Allahabad. That is a very big Ashwatha tree. It was existing during the 7th century AD, and Huingsang, who came from China as a pilgrim, he records about it. Later on, during the foreign Muslim invasions, some Vandals destroyed part of it, but it is still there, near the fort in Allahabad. So that is a very ancient tree. So it's a very sacred tree for the people of India. So in this case, this tree has been taken as an example of the universe. From that tiny seed, a whole tree comes up. What a wonderful example it is. So the seed is Brahman, from which all the other things come. In the Sankhya philosophy, they have got 24 tattvas, or principles, coming out of Prakriti or Pradhana, primordial nature. Each succeeding one more gross than the previous one, from the subtle to the gross, gross till more gross, until you come to this world of our own daily experience of touch and sound, etc. This is the grossest. So first is extremely subtle, the first product of evolution, Mahat, you can say. Then all these various tattvas, out of that, sense organs and the starry systems, one by one they come. There's an order in this evolution of the universe from the primordial stuff. In that case, this picture of the universe as a tree sounds very, very interesting and philosophically significant. So he said, therefore, this is that tree, he says, the great tree of samsara, great tree or Brahman. From two sides you can look at it. Manifestation side, you call it samsara vriksha. From its primordial cause in Brahman, from that point of view, it is Brahma vriksha. Brahman has become this universe. That is why it's called Brahma vriksha, holy, sacred. So in Vedanta, this respect for the world is there. But You respect it only so long as you connect it with the root. If you take away from the root, it becomes evil, meant to be overcome. So in this Gita, this tree is to be overcome, because you treat it as apart from the root, apart from Brahman. It has no value. Therefore you have to cut it down. Gita is going to say, cut it down by what? Not by a material instrument, but a spirit of detachment, absolute non-attachment. You cut off this tree and you become free. That is the text that is coming hereafter. As Brahman, we cannot cut off this tree. It is very real, very holy, very sacred. If you have that attitude, there is no need to cut off this tree at all. The tree that you have conjured up as self-existing, self-sufficient, that tree has no right to exist. We need to develop detachment and cut off that tree. But once you open your eyes to the truth of this tree, the tree is the product of that root which is Brahman. Everything comes from there. So what comes from the root is the root. What comes from Brahman is Brahman. So that teaching is there in Vedanta. Brahmaivedam Amritam. Idam, this manifested universe, is Brahman. Cause and effect are non-different. That is the language of Vedanta. So he started this chapter with this beautiful imagery of the Ashwatha tree and all the leaves of the tree which protect the tree, which nourish the tree. They are considered the Vedas. Vedas which contain teaching of what is right and what is wrong, how to overcome the wrong and realize the truth. That is what the Vedas do. The Vedas protect the world. Therefore, as the tree protects this, Vedas protect the world and human life. Therefore, this is considered to be, the leaves are the Chandamsi, the verses of the Vedas. Yastam Veda na sa Vedavid. He who knows this truth knows the Vedas. The truth of the dharma, adharma, how we have to give up the one, take to the other. All this comes as knower of Veda. They have really understood the Veda from this point of view. Then comes the second verse. Athaschodhvam prasrutas tasya shakha guna pravruddha vishaya pravalaha athasya mulanyanasantatani karmanubandhini manushyaluke. The branches of this tree have spread out both below as well as above. We have got this terrestrial world which is branching out below. We have got also the heavenly worlds up to Brahmaloka, place of Brahma, the creator. All that is above. All these have come. Branches above, branches below, spreading out from that one single root, the tap root, which is pure Brahman. Athaschodhvam prasruta. Prasruta means spread out. Tasya shakha is branches. Guna pravruddha. They are all strengthened by the three gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas. The whole of this manifestation, as the previous chapter had told us, is nothing but a play of the three gunas in various ratios, various proportions, etc. Guna pravruddha, vishaya pravalaha. Vishaya, sense objects, they are the fine tips of the leaf system. They are pravalas, vishayas, sense objects in the world. They are all comparison, each item. Athascha mulanyanasantatani. And below, atha, new roots also are there. The secondary roots coming down. Main root is up, but here there is secondary root which come as a result of our own actions of samskaras, vasanas. They form a set of secondary roots. So athascha mulani anusantatani karmanubandhini, born out of our own karma, our own actions, the samskaras and vasanas. The manushyaluke, in human life as well as life of subhuman species. All these activities produce a new set of roots. So it goes on. spreading, spreading, spreading like this. That is a picture of the world as a mighty Ashwatha tree. Narupamasyeha tathopalabhyate nanto najatar naja sampratishtha. You can't understand the form of this tree easily. In one look you cannot get it. It is so vast, so infinite. So, na rupam, its real form, iha in this world, na upalabhyate. It's not possible. Even in astronomy you will try to give a full account of the universe, it is impossible. It is so vast and varied. Nanto nacha adad nacha sampratishtha. It has no end, it has no beginning. We don't know how it is getting stabilized here, sampratishtha, how it is based, on what it is based. We can't understand this. The world is a mysterious entity. Even to the greatest scientists today, it is a mystery. That mystery concept comes here. Nanto nacha adad nacha sampratishtha. Ashwatthamenam subirutame moolam asanga shastrena dridhena chitva. And so this mighty tree, we have to cut it down. How? With a sharp weapon. What is the sharp weapon? Non-attachment. That's all. Training the mind. I want the truth of the whole tree. What is the truth? Brahman. Here it is constantly changing, dying, being born. That is the nature of this world. I want to see that supreme truth behind this tree, that root which sustains the whole tree of the universe. That is what I want to see. If that is so, you get detached from this mighty tree, and that detachment is treated as a sword. Ashwattamenam, this Ashwattham, Suvirudham, says well developed and intricate roots and branches together, such a mighty tree it is. Asanga shastrena. Shastra means weapon. Asanga means non-attachment. That's all. Dridhena chitva. Completely severed from its, what you call, the root. We want the root and not these manifestations which are all temporary. Leaves come and go, branches come and go, trees come and go, but that one remains. We want to go that. So, asanga shastrena dridhena chitva. Take this determination in yourself. Tatah param tat parimargatavyam. We must achieve that supreme state of Brahman. Behind this world, behind the many is the one. We must realize that truth. Tatah param tat parimargatavyam. Yasmin gata na nivartanti bhoyah. Attaining which there is no more rebirth. You are ever free. You have realized your own infinite nature, one with Brahman. So, tameva chadyam purusham prapadye yatah pravritti prasata purani. With this determination, I shall, says, tameva chadyam purusham prapadye. Adyam purusha, that primordial reality, that supreme purusha, I shall attain him. Tameva, that alone I shall attain. Adyam, primordial. Yada pravritti prasada purani. From whom issued this universe in ancient times. From him has come the whole universe. And therefore I want to know where from the universe has come. It is like a disciple of Ramakrishna telling Sri Ramakrishna, when he asked him, do you get any visions? Do you see some light in your meditation? Yes, I see the light. Then he said, that is very fine. But the disciple said, no, I don't like it. And what do you want? I want the source from which the light comes. That is more important. So he said, oh, that is a wonderful thing. But you have to wait for it. I am prepared to wait. Like that. So, tameva chadyam purusham prapadye. That primordial purusha from whom the whole universe has flown like a river flowing from a mighty gorge in the Himalayas. The Ganges flowing from Gaumukh or Gangotri. Tameva chadyam purusham prapadye. He says, yata pravritti prasutata purani. Very ancient. Purana means this universe is going on for ages. We call it anadi. This world is anadi, means beginningless. That is a wonderful idea. You go as far back, it is still there, it is still there, it is still there. Today's astronomy gives you 10 to 15 million years for the beginning of this cosmos. And after another 15 or 20 million years, it will go back also. That is the language. But when it goes back, it remains only in its seed form. Again it comes out for another manifestation. In this way, the universe always is there, which punctuated by creation, maintenance and dissolution. Srishti, Sthiti, Samhara. 3 aspects of the world. Every item comes out, stays for some time, goes away. Nothing is permanent here. Universe also is the same. It has no permanence. It comes and it goes. This is like a wave in an ocean. Ocean, Brahman is that ocean. A wave has come, that is universe. And wave goes, another wave, in a wave-like form. That is how the universe is described by Vedanta. This must be our attitude, says the Gita. I shall achieve union with that divine reality from which this universe has been flowing for ages. Tameva chadyam purusham prapadya. Adyam purusham, primordial purusha, beyond which there is nothing. Sa kashtha, sa paragatihi, Kathopanishad said. That is the purusha. That is the supreme end of this inquiry. It is the subtlest reality that we shall achieve finally. Then, what kind of development of mind and heart must come to achieve this? In a beautiful verse, the Gita says, Nirmana moha jita sangadosha adhyatmaditya vinivritta dvandvair vimukta sugadukha sapnyaihi gachanti amudhaha padam avyayam tat. Nirmana moha. You see, without mana and moha. Nir means negative. Getting rid of mana and moha. Pride or arrogance and delusion. Jita sanga dosha. The evil of attachment conquered. Jita means conquered. Sanga dosha. Adhyatma ditya. Ever practicing awareness of the Atman and the self. Pure. A spark of the divine. Adhyatma ditya. Always practicing this truth. Vinivritta kamaha. All outgoing cravings have been overcome. Vinivritta kamaha. Dvandvair vimukta. You have freed yourself from the clutches of the pairs of opposites. Pleasure and pain, happiness and suffering, these are called pairs of opposites. That we have overcome, it says. Dvandvair vimukta. Sukha dukkha sapnyahi, known as sukha and dukkha. These kind of dualities we overcome. And then gachanti amudhaha. You become free from maudhya or delusion. Amudhaha. Those freed from such delusion, they reach there. Gachanti padam avyayam tat. That imperishable state of Brahman. You reach it there. Narayana, Vishnu, any number of names are there for that one truth. That is what our religion says. God is one, His names are many, even forms are many, but He is one. That is always emphasized. So Sahasranama, Vishnu has 1,000 names, Shiva has 1,000 names, Shiva Sahasranama. So Nama is different, even the form is different, but the truth is just the same. One eternal divine Purusha. That's all what is there behind this universe, from whom the universe has come. In one of our mythological presentations of this truth, you will find we have astronomy, very scientific astronomy, but the same thing is put in a mythical language. Therefore, you can understand it better, ordinary people understand it better. So, Vishnu is the supreme reality. You just draw a picture of Vishnu resting on Ananta, that serpent, just resting. When the whole universe has been absorbed into himself, it all came from him. Now he has absorbed it in himself and having a little sleep, yoga nidra, just going on. Very concept. The world was in sleep when it was earlier dissolved, out of which it started again with that explosion, according to modern astronomy. Before the explosion, what was that background material doing? It was just resting, sleeping, no movement inside, absolutely no process, no movement inside. That's the state described. If you put it in human terms, it will be like Vishnu sitting or lying down in restful pose on that Ananta, who is called Shesha. Shesha is a very beautiful term. What remains and the whole universe is dissolved is this Shesha and Vishnu on it. Now the creation must start. How does it come? From that infinite divinity, from the navel, a lotus appears. So from that time, lotus is of great importance in our art as well as religion. A lotus appears in which there is Brahma, the future creator of this world, has appeared there. This is the story. In all our books you will find. Very whole truth put into human language, mythical language. And then that Brahma looked around. What am I here? What am I to do here? I don't know anything. I see nothing here. He could not see that Vishnu from whom he has come. He could not see at that time. And so he looks around. Then he hears a voice. Tapa, tapa, tapa. Do tapas. Tapas is mental tapas, psychological tapas. And out of that, the whole creation will come. Creation is the product of tapas of Brahma. Is wonderful. Jnanamayam tapas. Tapas of jnana, not ordinary tapas. So he did tremendous tapas. And he got the knowledge of the creation of the universe. What am I to do here? I don't know anything. I see nothing here. He could not see that Vishnu from whom he has come. He could not see at that time. And so he looks around. Then he hears a voice. Tapa, tapa, tapa. Do tapas. Tapas is mental tapas, psychological tapas. And out of that, the whole creation will come. Creation is the product of tapas of Brahma. Is wonderful. Jnanamayam tapas. Tapas of jnana, not ordinary tapas. So he did tremendous tapas. And he got the knowledge of the creation of the universe. The entire Veda appeared in his mind. And then, step by step, he brought out the universe out of himself. Now, this whole concept in astronomy is put into a fine mythical presentation. Everything was one in the beginning. In the end also it will be one. Everything will be absorbed into Lord Vishnu, and he will bring it out again. Similarly, Brahma, his age is infinite. So many ages will pass here. Like one man's life is 100 years. How many million, 100 years will go on before Brahma attains one day even, or half a day. We have got therefore all this division of time into various so many million years together. And you can say this is the 51st year of Brahma according to our calculation. So these are all astronomy put into a language which you and I can understand. Mythical language. The truth is there behind as astronomy. Similarly, Nataraja dancing, and through that dance bringing the world into existence. The dance of atomic particles. That is how the world is spreading everywhere. So many people refer to Nataraja's dance as the picture of creation as understood in modern physics, modern astronomy. That is another example. His picture is put in books on physics dealing with this modern developments in nuclear science. So men like Capra will say the best illustration of modern particle physics you can get in that Hindu symbol of Nataraja, and he puts a photo there in that book. So this is what is meant by the world coming out of the one and being absorbed in the one. That one is of the nature of pure consciousness. That is the only difference between modern astronomy and our astronomy in India. Our astronomy says that primordial reality is pure consciousness, absolutely subtle and one. Out of that subtle reality came less subtle, until you get the grossest realities here. And the return journey will be the same. Gross absorbed in the subtle, subtle in still more subtle, until it goes back to the supreme. So coming and going just the same, a reverse process. So we call it expansion, contraction. These are the two words used, you see. The world expands from the one to the many. The world contracts into the one, back from the many. These are all used in modern astronomical language also. That idea of contraction is very much there. The spreading and contracting. That's the concept of the universe goes on like this. Sankocha, Vikasa, we call it. Vikasa is expansion. Sankocha is contraction. This is going on all the time. So the expanding universe today is a very important concept in astronomy. The expanding universe. The one becoming the many is called expansion. And the many becoming contracted into the one. That is again the other process called Sankocha, contraction. So he is telling here that Gachandi Amudha Padam Avyayam Tat. We as human beings, a product of that evolution, millions and millions of years of evolution, we have the organic capacity to take up this concept of evolution into our hands and direct it towards that primordial state. Nothing in the world can do it, nor the sun, nor the animals, no entity can do. But a human being has that capacity to ask this fundamental question: where did I come from? How can I reach back there? We have that capacity. Therefore, the sages exercised that capacity, realized this truth, and told it to humanity in the Vedas. A profound truth about man. Man is a star dust, just a dust here, physically speaking. But inwardly, there is something infinite about him. Yesterday in the planetarium, I had to speak on this subject of cosmology in ancient India as well as in modern Western cosmology. And it was a very interesting subject there. So this was brought before the audience that if you take modern astronomy and try to find a place for man in that astronomy, then the whole astronomy will change. Till now we are dealing with only physical forces, physical energies, etc. As soon as you get man to the picture, another dimension comes in. He has consciousness, he has knowledge, he has experience. Some profound dimension comes in. So that primordial stuff of the universe had consciousness within it. That is called Brahman. So modern astronomy's primordial stuff plus consciousness is what you call Brahman. The rest are all exactly the same. The evolution, step by step, orderly evolution. What is the nature of that evolution? From the one, the many come out. From the undifferentiated, the differentiated come out. That's the language in Vedanta. Same thing in modern physics also. After the first explosion, in the beginning, none of these particles existed then. Electrons, protons, nothing. Absolutely one single energy. That's all there. Then after a few seconds only, these things began to bifurcate. More and more concrete things became. Ultimately, you get these galaxies. Then out of that, this condensed earth, the solar system, then plants, then animals, and finally man. In this way, there is an order of sequence in evolution. Now these are all entirely in accordance with our own ideas of evolution. We only add this, that since the product of evolution, which is man, has consciousness as its important datum, the cause also must have this datum. That also must have consciousness, because something cannot come out of nothing. If the original stuff had no consciousness, there can be no consciousness in the evolution of the universe. But since you find it here, you must account for it there. That is why that Brahman is pure consciousness. How does Taittiriya Upanishad define Brahman? Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. Brahman is truth. Satyam. Then Jnanam, pure consciousness. Anantam, infinite. That is the Brahman from which this flow of the universe has come. That is the Vedantic idea. So, as a human being, we can understand this truth. We have got the organic capacity to study the whole world, study the tree, and also study the root of the tree. We study the tree, but how few can understand the root of the tree. But the root is that nourishes the whole tree. Let us go to the root. The Hindu mind took up this challenge, and by going inward, discovered that one behind the many. I am also a part of that infinite reality. The next verse will tell it, that who am I? A spark of that infinite Brahman from which the universe came. That sloka will come a little later. Then, this is the way to achieve it. Nirmana moha, jita sanga dosha, adhyatma nitya, virivritta kamaha, dvandvair mimukta, sukha dukkha sapnyahi, gachanti amudhaha. When you become free from delusion, padam avyayam tat, you reach that supreme, imperishable state. A beautiful idea. Na tat bhasayate suryo, na shashanko, na pavakaha, yad gatva na nivartante, tad dhama paramam mama. A beautiful illustration is given. That supreme state, which is my own state, Krishna says there, as the incarnation of the divine, that is my real state. Tad dhama paramam mama. Paramam dhama, supreme state of existence, that is mine. Now that state is self-illumined. It is Sakrit Vibhatam, always illumined. Out of that illumination comes the luminosity of the sun, of the moon, of the stars, everything here. So that Natat Bhasayate Suryo, the sun does not illumine that reality. Na Shashanko, nor the moon, na Pavakaha, nor fire. Yad Gatva Nanivartante, by attaining which you don't have to return back the world of birth and death. That is my supreme state. Yad Gatva Nanivartante, Tad Dhama Paramam Mama. That is my supreme Dhama, means home, abode. Then comes the teaching. Mamaivamsho Jivaloke, Jivabhuta Sanatanaha, Manashashtani Indriyani, Prakritisthani Karshati. Man's status has never been expressed so high in any literature compared to what you get in Vedanta and in this sloka of the Gita. Mamaiva amsho, my own, a small aspect of myself has come as jiva in this body of man. Mamaiva amsho, jiva loke, the world of jivas or souls. They are there. Jiva bhuta sanatanaha, eternal jiva. Jiva can never die. It is ever eternal. That's the nature of this jiva, isn't it? That which illumines the body, that which animates the body, is the jiva. That's why it's called jiva. From Jew, the word genetic has come from the same Sanskrit root, Jew and genetic, jiva, janma, etc. And so, I am myself entering into all these beings as a spark of the divine. And yet, I am not divided. The undivided appears to be divided, that is all. Gita will say later on. Just like space. You build the hall, you have cut space into a small hall. No, space doesn't know any of these things. You think you have cut. Space is not cut at all. And so, here he says, Natat bhasayate suryo. Sun doesn't illumine that abode of mine. Na shashanko. Shashanka is the shashi anka, the mark of a hare, a rabbit inside the moon. We always, in theology, in mythology we say, there's a rabbit in the moon. So Shashanka name came to the moon. Na shashanko, na pavakaha, na fire. None of these can illumine this truth, this great abode. Yad gatva nanivartante, by attaining which there is no return journey. Tadhama paramam mama, that is my supreme abode or state. This idea has been expressed in many Upanishads. Brahman is the light of all lights. No light can light it. Sun is very flimsy light compared to the light of the Atman. It is Jyotisham Jyotihi, the light of our lights, and that is put in a beautiful verse in the Katha Upanishad. Na tatra suryo bhati, na chandratarakam, nema vidyuto bhanti, kutoyam agnihi, tameva bhantam, anubhati sarvam, tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. There the sun does not illumine, na tatra suryo bhati, na chandratarakam, not the moon or the stars, nema vidyuto bhanti. These fireflies here, they do not illumine the truth. What to speak of the fire in your household? Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam. That shines and the world shines after it. By its light, the whole universe is lighted. That is the last line. Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam. Tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. He is the light of all lights. It is by his light the whole universe is lighted, and that is the light that shines in you, in me, in all beings. We forget that light and we behave in a strange way without knowing this profound truth. When that truth is known, life becomes completely different. The light of the Atman, infinite light. So the word light, in every mystical literature, you will find the soul and God compared to light. Nur, Persian word nur, light. Light is light of truth, light of God, etc. Darkness nobody likes. Light we all like to go to. That's the nature of the human quest. So these little lights are there to light up our day-to-day life. A little knowledge is there to light our mind. But that realization alone can light up life completely. That is what he says. That is my supreme abode. You reach there by this realization of the light of all lights. Mamaiva amsho jivaloke jivabhuta sanatanaha. My own amsha has come in this world as the jiva, sanatana, eternal. It has no birth and death. It is eternal because my own part it is. Manas shasthani indriyani prakatisthani karshati. That little spark within draws to itself mind and the five sense organs. Mana, shasthani, indriyani. Indriya, sense organ. 6, 5 plus 1. 5 sense organs of perception and mind. It draws this. Then it becomes a human being. This is the sukshma sharira, the subtle body in man. That subtle body lives in a gross body. In this subtle body there is the jiva, the principle of intelligence. That is what comes and goes. That is what he is going to say. Mamaiva amsho, mama eva is my own. You see, not even anything to doubt. Every soul is a spark of the divine. In the Upanishads alone, you will get this profound truth proclaimed in the strongest language. Most mystics, Christian, Sufi, and other religions have also spoken this, but the exposition of it in the beginning, and which has influenced all of the spiritual seekers, first appears in the Upanishads, the discovery of the Atman, the wonderful truth that in this tiny human body such a profound truth is hidden. Yes, that is the truth. So the Upanishads addressed all beings as Amritasya Putraha, children of immortality. The body is a child of mortality, but you are the children of immortality. Nowhere else you will find this high status discovered about man and proclaimed in strong language. Never forget your divine inheritance. You are essentially divine. Vivekananda today gives the sum and substance of all Vedanta in a few sentences. The first one is, each soul is potentially divine. That is the first sentence. The goal of life is to manifest this divine within. It is there, divine, but it doesn't manifest. It cannot do any service to you, any help to you, unless you manifest it. Fire is there in the ashes, but you can't cook a food on it. You have to separate the ashes put a little faggot to the fire, then we can cook a food. So here also, to have the Atman within as my true nature is not enough. I must realize this truth. I am the Atman. I am eternally free, eternally pure. That is my true nature. So Krishna is telling us this great truth. Whole Vedanta preaches this as the central truth. Each soul is potentially divine. You can manifest this divinity. You have the organic capacity, only you don't utilize it. So remain like a creature on this earth. You are not meant to be a creature. You are to be free. Freedom is your birthright. No literature speaks high of freedom as Vedanta. Are you free is the main question. Don't be bound. Don't be a creature to be shaped by forces outside of itself. That's the meaning of the word creature. A creature is an entity which is shaped by forces outside of itself. All other species are creatures. Man also is mostly a creature, but he did not be so. He can change it. He can take his life in his hands and shape it. He has that freedom. Realize that freedom. Apply it and become free. That is all the central message of Vedanta to all humanity. It has nothing to do with the creeds and dogmas and other things. You can test and verify this great truth in your life. That I am free, I am free. Buddha said, I am enlightened, I am free, I am free. When you realize the truth. And so, Manasasthani Indriyani, Prakratisthani, they are all part of nature. Manas and the five sense organs, they are all part of nature. Prakratisthani, composed of the three gunas, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Karshati, Agarshati, it just attracts to itself. Then it becomes a limited human being. That divine spark becomes conditioned by this psychophysical mechanism within. Then it becomes a limited human being. And it forgets its own higher nature. That's why we are able to live the life of samsara, running about here and there. But when death comes, what happens? That is why in the next 2-3 verses, this subject also comes. What is the nature of death? And the subject of rebirth also comes in. When Vedanta discovered that the human body or the human being has 3 bodies, not just one body. We all see one body only. With these eyes we can see only one body. What they call the gross physical body. It is called Sthula Sharira. That we can see. All right, that's number 1. Then we probed a little deeper into him. We found a Sukshma Sharira, a subtle body. These sense organs, manas, and all your subconscious and conscious factors of the personality, they all belong to the category. That's called a Sukshma Sharira. It has tremendous impact on the Sthula Sharira. That's why in Western psychology, it became depth psychology when Freud discovered that the conscious mind of man is conditioned by the preconscious, subconscious and unconscious. There's something deeper. The Sukshma Sharira conditions the Sthula Sharira, its activities, its desires, etc. And so they discovered the Sukshma Sharira, where all these 5 Jnanendriyas and the manas, all these things and all the samskaras of your past actions, etc., they are all there. That make for subtle body, Sukshma Sharira, behind which there is a Karna Sharira, the causal body, extremely subtle. And these two go together, causal and subtle. So when death takes place, what happens? They simply discovered that this gross physical body is shed at the time of death. The subtle body continues. Its time value is not the same thing as the physical body. It is so subtle. So it seeks a new body and reincarnates. This is what happened in ancient development of thought. That discovery of the subtle body made for the great theory of reincarnation, which is so accepted by all of us from our very birth, because it is so natural that there is such a thing as a rebirth to satisfy my desires All are not satisfied here. I get a chance, I go on. In this way, aneda janma samprapta, tearing through various births, finally you come to the supreme truth, supreme realization. Your true nature. I am free, I am free. I am the Atman. I am a spark of the divine. That truth comes at the end of all these journeys from life to life. So he merely said, the same jiva inside draws all these elements to itself, and conditioned by them, he forgets his own true nature. Then he continues his journey in the world, one life, another life, etc. This is why he is saying here, manashrasthani indriyari prakritisthani karshati. It attracts all that forces unto itself. It has become a limited human being now. It has unlimited reality within, only he doesn't know it at all. And to know it is the end of our life. With all our ups and downs, all your successes and failures, you are kicked like a football, here, there, everywhere by nature. If at the end of all this, if the football can enter into the, what you call the goal, that will be wonderful. Here also, whatever may be the kicking that I get, finally I must be kicked into the supreme truth. I must realize that truth. That is how we have to manipulate human life and human actions. So, we attain this by drawing all these elements to ourselves, subtle elements like indriyas and manas. We become a limited human being. Then what happens? Shariram yadavapnoti yachapyukramati ishvaraha grihit vedani samyati vayurganthani vashayat. When this Ishvara, see the language used for the jiva is Ishvara. From Ishvara it has come. It is also Ishvara. But it has lost its Ishvaratva by this limitation. It is like a hypnotism from which we are suffering. That's why Vivekananda said, religion is not hypnotism, it is dehypnotization. We are hypnotized in thinking we are the body. That is pure hypnotism. We are not the body. We are in the body. That's one truth we must realize. Then we can detach ourselves and try to realize our own true nature. Shariram yad avapnoti, when this jiva attains another body, yad avapnoti, or yachapyukramati, or when he gives up a body at the time of death, that is birth and this is death. This Ishvara, this jiva within, which is Amsha of the divine, grihitva etani samyati. When he disappears from this body, he goes away carrying all these subtle elements like manas, indriyas, etc. He carries. As a subtle body, he moves out for other pastures, other experiences. Sharir grihitva etani samyati. An example is given. Vayur ganthaniva ashayat. Ashaya, the source, that is a flower, from which beautiful waves of good smell comes out. And the vayu or air carries it from here to there. Vayu is unconnected with it, it only carries it, that's all. This real smell coming from that flower. Similarly, these sense organs are taken, their energies are taken in the subtle body for experiencing life in a new manifestation. This is what has happened as rebirth or reincarnation. Shariram yadavapnoti yachapyukramati. Utkramati means going out. Utkramana. Ishvaraha, this divine self that is within. Grihit vetani samyati. He goes away taking all of them. All these scattered subtle forces we put together and become a subtle body. We just get out of this body at the time of death. Vayurgandhani vashayat. Then, Shrotram chakshu sparshanam cha rasanam ghranameva cha adhishtaya manaschayam vishayan upasevate. Having got into this body, we enjoy this world through the five sense organs and the manas. That is, Shrotram, ear, chakshu, eye, sparshanam, sense of touch, rasanam, taste, and ghranam, smell. These are the five doors of perception for us to experience the world. Similarly, adhishtaya manascha, also the manas. Manas is a coordinator of the five. They constitute the subtle body. Having entered into this body, we enjoy the world outside. Actually, it is the subtle body that enjoys, not a gross body. We put rice into the stomach. Stomach doesn't enjoy it. Only the subtle body enjoys it. Your mind enjoys it. Your sense organs enjoy it, and not the body itself. Manashasthani indriyani. Manashayam vishayan upasevate. You enjoy sense objects with this equipment that you have got for yourself, having come from a previous experience in another body. We left it, came into this. We are going on, experiencing till you are fed up with it. Your mind is turned towards the infinite Atman. It doesn't need any of these experiences. It is ever full. When you are full in your stomach, you don't search for food. Because it is empty, you search for food. Your mind is empty, therefore you search for things. When the mind is full, you don't search for it at all. That state is called perfection. That is mukti or moksha. Everybody is what you call a candidate for it. It is a human privilege. Only some people do not utilize that privilege. They are satisfied to remain as a creature, molded by various forces outside and his own actions or vasanas within. Then a beautiful sloka comes. Utkramantam sthitam vapi bhunjanam va gunanvitam vimodhananu pashyanti jnana chakshushaha. I quoted this verse in my letter to Julian Huxley in reply to his letter on my book Message of the Upanishads. We cannot accept reincarnation, he wrote in that letter. In the Upanishads, the Kathopanishad, the subject comes. So I expounded it there. He read the book. He said, one of the questions, reincarnation, our science cannot accept. Survival we can accept. He says there is something surviving the death of the body we can accept. That it takes another body we cannot accept. Because there is no genetic continuity there. They do only the genetic system. A father passes on the genetic, what you call, packet to the son and goes on all through. There is no such thing possible in rebirth. And so survival we accept, but reincarnation science cannot accept. Then I wrote to him explaining the whole thing and quoted this particular verse. Utkramantam sthitam vavi bhunjanam va gunanvitam. When the soul or jiva leaves this body, utkramantam, when the soul or jiva lives in the body enjoying the various things, sthitam vapi bhunjanam va gunanvitam, enjoying various objects composed of the three gunas, sattva, rajas and tamas. When all these are going on, we can see that that self is there, experiencing all this. But you must have a jnana chakshu, a knowledge eye. With these gross eyes, you cannot see this truth. Jnana chakshu alone, you can see this truth. In all physical science, we use this eye, fleshy eye, and develop also a jnana chakshu, and able to penetrate into nature and discover the truth there. That this table and chair are composed of so many particles like protons and electrons, etc. That is not given by this eye. That is given by the jnana chakshu. Some penetrating eye you must get. That is science. Continue the same development, same training, still more. You can go still deeper. Then you will discover, he says, here is the soul going out, here is the soul living inside, enjoying all this. You will be able to discover this truth when you have that jnana chakshu. Vimodhananu pashyanti. The deluded people cannot see this truth. They see only the external, nothing else. They can't penetrate. Pashyanti jnana chakshushaha. Those who have jnana chakshu, they can understand this truth. That is the challenge about this particular subject. This is being investigated all over the world today. In America, there are so many organizations dealing with subject of rebirth and reincarnation. So many data are being collected. No conclusive evidence has come. only because by external study none of this can be understood. When the mind becomes extremely subtle, it develops a capacity to penetrate this gross body and to see what is going on in the subtle body, coming, going, enjoying all these things. So, Pashyanti Jnana Chakshushaha. The Jnana Chakshu can see this, not Vimuta, the deluded eye or deluded mind cannot see this truth at all. Now, this is one aspect of the subject. 11th verse we shall take up next Sunday. The first 10 verses we have completed here. And towards the end of the book, end of the chapter, you get a wonderful presentation of God as the Purushottama, the Supreme Divine Person. And this is called Purushottama Yoga, Yoga of God as Purushottama. We shall take it up next Sunday. Day after tomorrow, I am going to fly into Visakhapatnam to address